Hi everyone, good afternoon from Vienna. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Making It in Austria. I'm your host, Adela Mehic-Janic, and today I have a very special guest with me for a Women's Day. So to all our viewers, happy International Women's Day and welcome Urška to our YouTube channel.
Hi Adela, it's
Hi.
a pleasure to be here with you today.
Thank you so much for taking the time and spending this hour with us. Let's start with a short introduction from your side.
Well, I'm living in Vienna, but my origin is from Slovenia, here on the back.
Yeah.
My profile, I'm I would say an expert in communication, but specialized in being the bridge between technology and the human side, and a long track of experiences in projects for smart cities for many years, and now in tourism, also in tourism 4.0 in last years, where I'm trying to bring these experiences in this sector.
Tell us a little bit more about Tourism 4.0. So for our viewers who are watching this, what they can imagine under that.
We call it Tourism 4.0 for all the not native English speakers, so to make it understandable, is bringing in like basic terms. The first idea is to use technologies based, focused on the quality of life of local residents, community, and whatever developed is developed respecting this. The idea was born 3 years ago within a company, Arctur in Slovenia. It's a high-tech company, almost 40 years of experience in high-tech with a supercomputer center, many experiences in bringing these expensive and complex technologies to SMEs in Europe. And then we were trying to figure out where we can share these experiences, and came into tourism, where we have these two layers, like the layer above, the big platforms using this expensive and complex technology, big data, and everything what is for many like, something in the cloud. Yeah. And then we have tourism, the layer below, all those small family-based, those who really live tourism and do it, and they don't have resources, they don't have skills how to use these technologies. And then you have this huge gap. There's the profits and the data remain in the cloud somewhere, disappear, no tax is paid. And the tourism has been becoming something which was more harmful to the environment than positive. And this is what we want to change. So no experiences like Venice, like Barcelona, where people were against tourists. We want to build like, sustainable tourism based with technologies based on real data, to understand what is the real impact of tourism and how to make the strategies to make it sustainable, so that the quality of life of local inhabitants, it's not harmed or in any way, lower. And this is, we are running now, like we have two largest R&D projects focused on tourism in Slovenia running now, with all the major universities first, and then the major tourist service providers and high-tech companies, really starting from the very big, very first ideas. What is the tourism of tomorrow and how to build it, how to involve the technologies, and then first demo projects using these solutions and try to implement them. And then we also have running projects on EU level in the Black Sea area and the Danube area within 6 countries, where we are already testing one of the tools that we had developed. This is tourism impact model. It's really trying to measure with real data the impact of tourism. And we are testing this on 30 locations right now and trying to understand, so to what extent you can build, you can, plan what kind of activities to really make it, sustainable and in harmony with the inhabitants. So this is shortly. I can go for hours to explain it.
So you said that the project started from Slovenia out, and it's on a European level, right?
Yes, international. Yes, we actually launched the idea a few years ago, and then we made, we took like we were invited to many events around the globe, really make a journey around the globe, because I mean now it's COVID for 1 year,
Yes.
and everyone, it's like everything is closed, but we imagine the world before COVID, and tourism was like, you know, just raising, just going, and everything was just growing, and nobody's really taking care of, okay, where are we going? But tourism is so much connected with everything. It's like a layer which is connecting all the sectors, the traffic, the health issues, like many, like all the aspects of society actually. And we were not aware of that. Now with COVID, when everything overnight stopped, we became aware that also the taxi driver, also the mechanic, also, you know, also in Vienna here, I mean, the tourism is a very important sector, and influences so many jobs in the area and so many lives and so many families. And how to build, how to make all this, you know, all these puzzles bring together in something, in a picture, which is a win-win for everyone, for tourists, but also for local residents and for the government, you know, and for the taxes and so on. So this is what we are trying to bring together.
So is it possible to plan anything nowadays in the tourism area? So how do you see tourism developing in the coming year, or is it too early to talk about it?
There are so many factors right now which are very difficult to foresee, you know, because there are so many, I would say, factors which are maybe not based on real data. I don't want to be, you know, some negative, but there are so many decisions taken, I would say, like this, or I don't know with what other purposes. And this is why we can't say, but if you would only take the data and really play with data, we could do that, like make more or less have a picture. But as I said, there are so many decisions now taken on different levels, which are not always like on subjective, I would say, level, that it's then difficult to say anything. But I would say we should be positive, and we should really think of tourism as something which connects us all and our, like all the layers of our society, and should take care of it maybe more as it's not just about traveling, and, you know, it's much more. Tourism is a sector which really builds all the infrastructure, like influences the infrastructure and all the aspects. So, and I mean, when I say respect, I say, please, let's start use data and make it. At the end, we take the decisions, but, you know, you have the picture, okay, these are the data, and then we take the decision as humans, no technology, no artificial intelligence. It's a funny story that we always tell is when we were in Mexico, one of the conferences was Steve Wozniak, was the keynote speaker. And he said he only believes of artificial intelligence, he only believes in artificial, because if you take the picture, or if you show the dog or the cat to a kid, you know, 2-year kid, you show like maybe 3 times and the kid gets it. You need the system needs 3,000, 10,000, you know, so many pictures of a dog and still makes a mistake. So, you know, this is the difference between human and artificial intelligence. So it's a long way before artificial intelligence could be, you know, in some way really like intelligent in this way. It can help us, you know, understand some aspect patterns, what we can't see with our eyes, but to take decisions, strategic decisions, it's on us. And we only want that these patterns, you know, and these things that we can't do with our brain, can't see, just to use this data to help us take decisions. This is I believe, the right way to do in this complex way where so many things happen.
Thank you, Urška. Coming to Slovenia, so you mentioned that you live now in Vienna, you're from Slovenia. Tell us a little bit how you came to Austria, to Vienna.
Oh, well, it's I was the generation which was finishing the elementary school when the war in former Yugoslavia started. And first was we were very lucky in Slovenia because it was only 10 days and everything was finished in a quick way. But still, there was some kind of, we didn't know what, it's a new situation, like maybe now, it was everything could happen in positive or negative way. Mm-hmm. Then I decided to go to the high school in Italy, finish there the high school, and then I was always interested in communication, and that time was public relations was so fancy, something new. This is a long time ago, and I found a college, a university in London, but then my parents, no, this is like far away, and this is how I finished in Salzburg, and finished then my PhD and specialized. My PhD was in future of communication, in the marketing, when the AI is part of the communication, so not human to human in business. It's when the machine comes into which today is happening. We are now talking about it, but in 2001 this was like science fiction for my professor and everyone there. But it was fun. So I finished my PhD there, and then happened to meet my future husband in one of the last parties in Salzburg, and so then. I didn't go to US as I planned, so I'm here in Vienna with 3 kids, happily married and enjoying life between Vienna and Slovenia. Yeah.
Good enough, right?
Things happen in life,
Have you faced any challenges, or how was it for you to move from Slovenia, then from Italy, then to Austria, new environment, new people, cultures? So what would you say?
It's funny now with 3 kids, who are now on 16, 14, almost 15, and now almost 10, and they are making jokes because, I studied in Salzburg, but like more than half of my study was in English. My master and my PhD, everything I've written everything in English. So German for me was always, I never really took the time to go in the grammar and so on. And now they are correcting me because they're das. For me, this is me. We don't ever be, it's something, it's okay, whatever. And when we make fun of it, I always say, I'm Ausländer, it's okay for me. I don't need to know the articles. It's you are here and somehow I always felt an Ausländer, but not in a negative way. For me, I'm bringing in this environment something which is not standard and so on. And Vienna, it's quite different now and how it used to be in 2001. When I came here German was not an option, was German if you wanted to take a job. So I was always somehow spreading the projects between on international level, maybe also because of the language. And I'm a free bird, always, for me, going for a job was, I really applied. After the third kid, I said, okay, now I have 3 kids. I really will, I will take a job and be a normal woman. But I just did some interviews, and then my husband, when I came from one of the interviews where I was one of the last, interview sessions, and he only, okay, you tried it. It's okay, you tried it. And this is how then things go. And yes, it's this feeling of Ausländer in positive way, I would say, in foreigner. It's how I still feel, and it's okay for me. It's I think that's it's because integration. Also, if somebody is using the language, and I don't think this should be that you forget your culture or where you're coming from. I was born on the seaside. The sea is in me. I would say Vienna is perfect. There's just no sea here, but still so many other things. I think I will always have this part of me from Slovenia, and like now more like actually I'm now longer in Austria than I was in Slovenia. So
Yeah.
I'm somehow also from here.
So I see the same as you. So it's Bosnia is going to always be part of me, and I'm very proud of where I'm coming from and from my roots and from my family. So it's part of me. And as you said, and many other ladies said that I have interviewed, so they are very proud of where they are coming from their heritage, and they see it as their advantage. So something to be really to honor it and cherish, and it's especially it's nowadays where we all praise and talk about diversity and how that important is to bring different interests and opinions on the table. So this is a perfect way to go forward. Urška, coming to the one of the topics that I'm very passionate about it, and I know you are as well, is networking. So how one can build network or how did you build your network here in Austria? Where did you start from? And if you have any tips for our viewers?
Oh, well, networking, I think this develops now or is changing now quite a bit with COVID, I would say, because before it was something that I would do on events, and I really like this interaction with persons live, because once you have this eye contact, you see somebody, then all the rest can be remote, no problem. But starting, as I'm just learning now with this starting remote, it's a big challenge, I would say, because it can go, because we have so many international projects running now. We started projects with kickoffs remote, but still it's missing this, just for once to see this person, to to laugh, to talk, because on these Zooms and Teams and whatever, you don't have time to chat, or not so informal, I would say, as otherwise. So events and meeting people, and this was how. And as I said, I was always like in the high school and university, I was working as a journalist for a Slovene newspaper, but like covering international things. So I could visit so many events. This was just great that time. As you're a student, you can cover international conferences and just make interviews with VIPs, and that was fantastic for me. That just to get the contacts, and this was also the way how I did my PhD, that I could include so many different views in that topics that time there was no literature. It was the beginning of something. So.
You're right with it's a different world nowadays with everything being online, and so the Zooms, I do lots of them, and for my work, and then as well for my networks too. But as you said, it's agenda based. So usually especially if it's a bigger setting. So if it's more than two people, so if it's you and me, then it's way easier to go from one topic to another. But if it's like 5-10 people, then it's very much structured, and there's no chit chats, or maybe if you use the chance at the beginning, few minutes, but that's more or less it's very agenda.
But what I can see by my kids now is how they live it completely differently. I don't know if this is good. I mean, because they are learning to live remote, which is not good. I mean, hopefully they will go back to normal life and meet again and go to discos, whatever. They have this house party, I don't know, so many different platforms where they just hang like for hours, and then people come. Now a friend of my daughter is in Italy for a semester, one is in US, and they bring in like friends from there, and they then have like conversations and say, Mom, yesterday I was chatting for someone from Milan and they were talking Italian, and which is great. I mean, otherwise for 1 year they would have no new social contacts and so on. So they are arranging with this new situation, I would say, much faster than we are doing. But still, I still hope that we go back to normal and can.
Yes, that we can finally meet and chat and have the small talks around the drinks and buffet and different topics. So I'm also very much looking forward to that. Urška, how about have you had mentors in your life, in your career? So how did they help you build up your career?
I think that mentors are very, very important. This is why I'm also now doing Erasmus, taking like young people, trying to give them like my experiences, and in all other ways as I can. What I would say first and the biggest mentor are my parents, like first my father and then like mother. We have a family business, and also when I started to write for the newspaper, my father was at the beginning, like, checking the articles. He has this sense for writing and supporting me and so on. Then the next mentor was this national newspaper that I was writing. Then he was chief of the desk, the one who really does you have the boss of the newspaper and the one who really does every day the content and organizes everything. And he was a very tough guy, very, very tough, but he gave so many, direct, I would say, how to do things. One thing is that somebody supporting you, loving you and so on, but the other say, no, this is not good, this is good. And once you will be, after 100 articles we talk, then next step. But this is the kilometers that you need to do. And that somebody is supporting you in this way, also in tough, not always romantic and nice, was great for me, for my writing, for my going further and into the stories and so on. And then I had another one in business, I would say. We did, he was also actually, he came during the war to Slovenia without, like, lost everything from Bosnia, came to Slovenia and built a new business. And we were like doing many projects. We are still in touch now, but although he was, I don't know, 20, 30 years older, always this, if I didn't know how to do, or I was doing something wrong, explaining this would be better, and I think this is really important, to have somebody where you are not ashamed if you are just making something stupid or ask for, because not every boss or every is like this. It's so having these persons who are just giving you this feeling of that you can do good, or what is good, very, very important.
Yeah. So I would agree. So and especially the one, I like what you said. The one side is the praising. So you have people who will say, "Oh, always is great," but you as well need people who will say, "Yeah, that was not good," and give you a little bit of directions and say, "Okay, we need those people in our lives as well."
And I think what is important for young generation is for this kind of mentors, because we now should all raise kids with everything, it's butterflies and flowers, and this is not what is life about. Sometimes just do this and don't, no discussion. Okay, these are millennials, I don't care. I mean, now you do this and then we talk, this is how it works. It can't be always just everything fancy and nice. And this is good. No, this is
that's how we learn. So when we rise to the challenge,
if you want to improve, it's the only way. So it's
Urška, how about our viewers who are considering now to move to Austria? So how would you advise them to prepare themselves?
Read all the I don't know, all the information on what is on the border, because it's changing. I mean, it's crazy. Every week is something new. Do you need a test? Which test? How many days? So but it's fine. Okay, this is one part. Coming to Vienna now, to Austria, I think it's maybe I'm more of that kind of person. I know there are many people who just go and find things and, but I'm more of the person who would say, if you go somewhere, to have an idea what do you want, how you achieve it is another thing. Maybe you will find on the way, but just going, it's not, nowhere is just, happening something. I would say always you need to work on something. So I would say to make first what direction, to have a first input of, to be realistic, what is possible. All these shows on TV, I mean, a few years ago, I don't know if they are still running, with people moving, to other countries without having no, and I was watching, I was like, no, why are we even watching the show about, these people should, think about things now with this, all the channels that are possible to communicate. And just goes on one of the social media in a group and you can get so many information. I remember when I tried to go to Salzburg that time, wow, that was everything in German. You had like one website with something, and it's other times now. So just take advantage of this. And I think that everyone has a friend who has a friend, and this kind of information are the best ones, not, the official on the websites, but the information from people who really live somewhere. And I would say.
So collect the information that are there, and
not to get surprised, it's
and have a bit of plan, also a little bit where you are going. Thank you, Urška, for your tips. Before we wrap up, I would like to ask you, what are you reading, or any book that you would like to recommend our viewers?
Many books. It's funny, like few days ago, I was talking with one of the youngers in my team, and he was asking me where should he start, what kind of books, he's like marketing and all this stuff. And I said to him, maybe start with, and try to understand people, this kind of books, which maybe is not marketing, is not selling, but this is the beginning of everything, actually. And one of the books that I like very much is Susan Cain. Is this how is this about the introverts?
The Power of Introverts.
The Power of Introverts. Yes, sorry.
Gave the TEDx talk.
Yes, and this was one of the books where I learned so much about myself and also other persons at that time. Now everyone is talking about introverts. Everyone wants to be an introvert, and it's like, but it's when it came out for me and I really suggested it like to many persons, and many came back to me and said, that was like, something else, just to think about. So this is, for example, one of the suggestions that I would.
Thank you, Urška. So I will link it, this book, to this interview, and I will link as well your contact details for people that would like to continue the conversation with you, who would like to know more about your way to Austria, and as well about the Tourism 4.0.
Perfect.
And so thank you so much for being together today with us. And thank you all to our viewers who have watched this episode. So if you like it, just, like it, share it with your community, comment in the below section. And especially if you have someone that would you like to see on this channel, so let me know, drop a comment or send me a LinkedIn message. I would really love to meet more people with inspiring stories who made their ways in Austria. So thank you all. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the Women's Day, and we talk soon. Thank you, Urška.
Thank you, Adela, for doing everything.